Hello, my dear students. So, how are you all staying at home free from corona? So, with these words, we'll continue our topic on health education. So, health education, which is informing, educating, and empowering the citizens. So, that is the tag word for health education. Let's see what is this health education after communication. So, we'll understand more on health education. So what does this today's class includes? It includes introduction, the main concept of health education, definitions, aims and objectives, principles of health education, process of health education, approach to health education, method of health education, level of health education, then the practice of health education, that is the scope of our use of this health education. Then there should be an health educators, who are the opportunities for health education and the success stories behind this health education by which we have achieved the holistic concept of health. So here in the diagram also a tree which is showing the wellness stem with occupational, intellectual, environmental, physical, social and emotional and spiritual health is altogether the health education's objective. So coming to introduction, health education forms an important part of health promotion activities. These activities occur in schools, workplaces, clinics and communities and include the topics such as healthy eating, physical activity, tobacco use prevention, mental health, HIV/AIDS prevention, the safety. Health education is an active learning process which aims at favorably changing the attitudes and influencing the behavior with respect to health practices. Yes, what is the present concern of prevention of corona? Yes, here we need health education. We need to change the behavior of the people. Yes, and influence their behavior through health education by suggesting the preventive measures. Yes, we all know the simple hand rub or hand washing. Okay, keep practicing these practices of correct hand rub and hand wash. Yes, and respiratory etiquette. So we have to bring about this is health, a simple form of health education which currently we are all focusing, yes, in preventing the greater morbidity and mortality due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So it has become the integral part of various national health programs. So currently I discussed about COVID. Okay, but this is practiced since the first national program for control of the diseases, whether it can be RNTCP, the tuberculosis program, or MNCH, that is maternal and child health care, RMNCH, that is reproductive maternal neonatal child health plus adolescent component. Okay, that RMNCH stands for, and many programs for communicable and the non-communicable diseases. Okay, so it becomes the part, an important segment in our programs. There is a term called health literacy, is an outcome of effective health education. When a person is understood the message of education towards the well-being of his health in preventing some particular disease, then we can say he is literate. Okay, health literate. One who knows to read and write is called literate. Okay, so when he knows to understand the concept of prevention to particular disease, he will become health literate. Okay, so increasing the individual capacity to access and use health information to make appropriate health decision and maintain the basic health. Okay, so coming to the definition of health education, maybe it is looking very little complicated and for you to understand health education, but at present context, this health education is the one where all the government different departments are trying to do and bring awareness among the people. Literally you can observe all these which are practiced in current world. It is not only our country, it is throughout the world. I can say everyone are practicing this health education. So now let us learn the definition of health education. Yes, It is any combination of learning experiences designed to help individuals, communities improve their health, okay, by increasing their knowledge or influencing their attitude. This is what the WHO has suggested given the definition for health education. It is the knowledge to improve the behavior of a person and his attitudes for the well-being of his own health and his neighbors, his family and his community. So here in the picture you can see, so complete your complete health, that is life skill modification. You can see the people doing all the workouts, okay, gym and education is teaching. So which finally you are learning and practicing through the knowledge is called health education. This is a little definition in a deviated form. So according to Alameda Declaration 1978, okay, there they define a process aimed at encouraging the people to want to be healthy, to know how to stay healthy, to do what they can individually and collectively to maintain the health and to seek help when needed. So that is the need and the demand for their well-being. So that arises the question of knowing something for prevention of their health. So that is health education. So what are the aims of this health education? Yes, the first one, to encourage the people to adopt and sustain the health promoting lifestyle and practices, to promote the proper use of health services available to them, to arouse the interest to provide new knowledge, improve skills and change attitudes in making rational decisions to solve their own problems, to stimulate the individual and the community self-reliance and participation to achieve health development through individual and the community involvement at every step from identifying problems to solving them. So the aim of health education, first person should adopt a correct lifestyle practices by himself. Then he should know aware of what are the health services available to promote his good lifestyle. Yes, so proper use of available health facilities. It is not only he has to arouse the interest, okay, in others by improving, that is role model. He should become role model for others and they should also start practicing the new knowledge and the skills and change the behavior, and he should stimulate the other community members, okay, to participate in the healthy behavior. So I think our present current problem, again it will be applicable for our aims here, okay, aims of health education. Yes, you should stay at home, okay, you should follow the lockdown principles and practices. Yes, and you should educate your family members also to stay back and practice the respiratory etiquette, hand wash, hand rub each time whenever they touch any objects or any surfaces. Yes, you should also know, you should make others also know. And the next, the community level, yes, it is being done by government and authorities, okay. So all objects are fitting to the present context. So what are the objectives here? First, yes, informing the people. As a health educator, it becomes informing the people. People are informed at different diseases, their etiology and how to prevent them. So second one is, yes, we have to motivate the people. It is not only understanding the knowledge, we have to try to bring the change in the others also. Concerned with clarifying, changing or informing attitudes, beliefs, values or opinions. After health information is given, it is necessary to motivate them, alter their lifestyle so that it becomes favorable for promoting the health and preventing the disease. So where motivation is defined as a combination of the force which initiate, direct and sustain the behavior. So the informing the people in such a way that he should try to adopt that information in him, that is changing the behavior. So that is called motivation. The force which brings that change is called motivation. So our first objective is informing the people. The second objective is we are motivating the people. That is what it is called behavioral change communication. It is not information, communication, education and communication. You should become behavioral change communication. That is, from IEC we should move on to BCC. Again I will tell each time about the present situation. Now we are in the, before 1 month back we were in IEC. We are just having information, education and communication. When before lockdown, when we are all coming to college, you are just having the information of corona. You are not practicing hand rub, you are not washing your hands repeatedly after each class or whenever you do any practical experiments, isn't it? So that was only, we were at the stage of information, education and communication. Teacher used to come, talk about corona and communicate and leave. But now, do you think you are in the same? No, you are more aware of that knowledge, preventive measures. You are following. You are staying back home. Yes, that is one preventive measure. You are, each time when you are coughing, you are covering with a tissue hand covers, handkerchiefs, isn't it? And you are washing. Yes, each house and everybody are carrying the hand rubs, alcohol hand rubs, isn't it? So now we have changed our behavior. So now we are in the stage of behavioral change communication. Hope this change continues and we will achieve 0 cases in future, and hope this lockdown ends faster and we all meet together for classes. Okay, so let us understand how this health education should be. So how the teaching should be so that student is interested. So there are some 13 points, okay, which is based on this health education: credibility, interest, participation, motivation, comprehension, reinforcement, learning by doing, known to unknown, setting an example, good human relations, feedback, community leaders, soil, seed, sower. When you go on knowing about these principles, don't you think that we are trying to bring about change in the people? Yes. So how it is credibility? Let us understand. Credibility, it is the degree to which the message is perceived as trustworthy by the receiver. So in my each slide I am explaining about COVID and taking that as a example. Yes, but if it is and not an if I was speaking about this disease 2 months earlier, imagine where this condition was present, condition is not existing. So are you, or believing me, you are thinking ma'am is just simply boasting and she wants to come and say about the new outbreak. Yes, she is just lying, because there were no facts and figures to whatever available now at present. Okay, if I was telling 1 month back, you wouldn't have believed and you would have like thought, what is this new disease, where it will come for our exams, you wouldn't have believed. So the credibility was not very less that time, but now when I am speaking, taking that example, credibility is more in my health education, in my class. Yes, you are believing whatever I am saying is truth. Yes, so whenever a health education should be given on a topic, the topic should be of truthful, or it should be trustworthy by the receiver. Interest? Yes. Now I am taking the example of COVID. Yes, people are now keen to hear. But if I take an example of AIDS and HIV, yes, if I talk about tuberculosis now, is that appropriate? Will it create interest in the listener? No. So the interest should be aroused when people have to listen. The health educator should identify the felt needs of the people and then prepare the program that can actively participate into make it successful. So the interest should be generated in the receiver. So, and it only when it possible, the receiver has a felt need for it. Participation. So always I encourage for participatory learning. It's only me. Now this online teaching, what it is, there is no participation from the receiver end. I don't know how much there is a possibility of feedback, but we are not receiving it directly. So I don't know how can I improve my presentation for the next class. So this is lacking, but it should be there, the participation from the receiver end. Then only the health education is possible. Then only the class is the fruitful. Okay, so health educators should encourage the people to participate in the program. Once the people are given a chance to take part in the program, it leads to their acceptance of the program. Methods like group discussion, panel discussion, etc. provide opportunities for the people's participation. Yes, it should be in a way of motivation, I told, then urge, the force which will make the person to follow the information. So that is called motivation. For example, for a teenager, aesthetics might be a motive to take care of his teeth. Whereas for an adult, the expenses of undergoing restorative surgery, isn't it? You will be more conscious. Okay, so that is the reason for motivating getting the treatment. The fundamental desire for a learning an individual is called motivation. Health education can be facilitated by motivation provided by the desire to achieve the individual goal. What is comprehension? Is the level of understanding of the people who receive the health education. Each one's thinking is different, isn't it? Because the receiver, when he receives from the person who is giving sender the message, each one will understand in a different context. So there should be a comprehension. Should first determine the level of literacy and understanding of the audience and act accordingly. Yes, I am taking this health education class for a first year student. The same class cannot be taught to a final year MBBS students. The level of comprehension differs. So for you, it is just the basic. When I go for the final year students, I have to comprehend the subject depending on whatever they have learned in other phases of their MBBS. I have to apply it in a pathological. I have to show them how microbiology has a role in the COVID, how the medicine has a role, and what is the role of community medicine in prevention of this pandemic. Yes, so I have to comprehension should be depending on the level of literacy. The words that are strange or new to the people should not be used. Yes, again I will use, if I was using this COVID-19 in the December, in January, yes, many were they were looking at it as a strange. I remembered saying these words in my class in the December and the January month. The reaction I found, I think you all can remember those classes. Okay, so it was strange, that was not appropriate. Now I am using the words, yes, it is the a common familiar word every day you are hearing from morning till night. The use of technical terms or medical terms should be avoided. Yes, depending upon the audience, yes, we can use the appropriate words. So for example, eat food items that are carcinogenic. This may not be a comprehensive to a layman. Better way of explaining would be avoid the foodstuffs which are sweet, which sticks to your teeth like toffees and pastries. Eat the food items like fruits and raw vegetables, which in addition to bring healthy, also keeping your teeth clean. Yes, this is a statement which will be well received by the layman. Then reinforcement, this is the principle that refers to the repetition needed in the health education. So I think reinforcement is the one I think we keep doing in the class also. It is not possible for the people to learn the new things in a short period of time. So the repetition is a good idea. Yes, practice makes man perfect. That is one thing. This can be done at regular intervals and it helps the people to understand new ideas and practice better. The booster dose in health education, otherwise called a booster dose, how we give a primary dose, secondary dose and booster dose in vaccination. Yes, it will increase the immunity, and if the immunity levels have come down, again giving a booster dose, it will be enhanced. Okay, so reinforcement is must in health education to achieve the better health. Learning by doing, you can see a nice picture here. His mother is showing how to brush and the child is following it. It is the learning process accompanied by doing new things. It is better instilled in the minds of people. I hear, I forget. If I see, I remember. If I do, I know. This is what is applied in your teaching also. Yes, you hear in your class. Yes, yeah, how much you will be able to remember? Only 20%. I forget it. Yes, and you try to comprehend, and in your practicals you are applying those thoughts. In your viva you are trying to remember your theory. Yes, that is how we are trying to evaluate the student also based on this, because only theory is not enough to judge a student or evaluate any health program. So we will ask you to do practice, do a practical experiments, and we'll take your viva to better understand how much you have learned. So that is the way of evaluating. So that is one thing by learning by doing follows. Known to unknown. Always you should go from a known things to a unknown things. If I start teaching you an unknown thing and then telling about the common thing, the receiver will not be interested in your talk. Yes, so it is known to unknown. So next, setting an example. Health educator should follow what he preaches. Yes, he should set an example to others to follow. Health educator who participate in a program highlighting the ill effects of tobacco should not be seen smoking since it sends a wrong signal and seriousness of situation is lost. Okay, so the person who is educating should follow what first he should become a model, set an example to his fellow people. Good human relation. This principle states that health educators should have good personal qualities and should be able to maintain friendly relation with the people. Health educator should have a kind and sympathetic attitude towards the people and should always be helpful to them in clarifying the doubts or repeating that is not understood. Okay, then feedback is also an important principle for health education. For any program to be successful, it is necessary to collect the feedback to find out if any modifications are needed to make the program more effective. Feedback is one of the must to do principle of health education. Guiding in action. Concerned with the development of skills and action, a person who has obtained health information might be motivated to change his behavior and lifestyle. However, he might need professional help and guidance so as to bring out these changes and sustain these altered lifestyle. So, there should be a guide and a monitor to help in bringing about the change. So, that can be possible with community leaders. Community leaders can be used to reach the people of the community to convince them and about the need of health education. Here I try to remember in the present situation. So when the second time when Prime Minister addressed the country, I think you can remember, if you have heard his talk, you can remember that he is saying that the respect to community leaders, Dharma Gurugadu, okay, that in Kannada we say. So each community leaders, whether it is a spiritual, depending on the religious leaders, should address their followers to stay back home and follow these preventive measures. Remember? Yes. So community leaders have an important role in success of health education. Leaders can also be used to educate the people as they will have a rapport and it will be familiar to the people of their community. They will follow. Okay. The leader will have an understanding of the needs of the community and advise and guide them. Yes. So that is why community leaders have a greater role in achieving their health education. Soil, seed, sower. Soil is community, seed is information, soil is the person giving the information. Yes, all three S are important in success of health education. So, so that's all about the different principles of health education. To recall, yes, you can remember the first one, credibility. There should be an interest. Yes, there should be setting a good example, learning by doing, reinforcement, repetition. Yes, then we have community leaders and soil and seed sower. These are all the main things which a health education should be based on. Yes, so then only the health education program will be successful. Now let us move on to what are the approaches in health education. Yes, our health education has now, we have prepared a health education which is based on the all the principles whichever we discussed now. Now how to approach? Yes, the first one is regulatory approach, managed prevention, service approach, educational approach, primary healthcare approach. I think this chapter is very appropriate to speak in the present context of COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, a regulatory approach, legal or regulatory approach, any governmental intervention, direct or indirect, designed to alter human behavior. Yes, students, now tell me, what is this governmental intervention we are seeing now? Yes, lockdown, seal down. Yes, these are the things. Anybody who is coming out, yes, they are being filed a case against them. Yes, so this is a governmental intervention, a regulatory approach. So these are all old examples. I think we have to stick on to the present lockdown. That is the best example. What is the advantage? Simple and quick. Everybody will follow when it is becomes legal. Particularly, it is useful in times of emergency. Yes, now we have pandemic emergency or in limited situation such as to control epidemic disease management of fairs and festivals. Yes, so our COVID-19 is an regulatory approach imposed by central government, not in a state. It is imposed by central government and it is also advised by WHO also. And many countries are following this regulatory approach in prevention of the pandemic. So what are the limitations in the area of personal choice? Yes, this is very appropriate. Alcohol, exercise. Yes, your parks are closed. There is no alcohol and no government can take away the rights of freedom. But difficult to enforce the law without a vast administrative infrastructure and considerable expenditure. It's very appropriate. So a lot of administrative infrastructure is playing a role here and we have to be thankful to all the government officials, our police, our other essential service providers who are all helping and trying to enforce this law in the present lockdown. Yes, service approach. Now understand about service. Intends to provide all the health facilities needed by the people at their doorsteps on the assumption that people would use them to improve their own health. Yes, limitation not based on the felt needs of the people. Yes, they are water seal latrine. This will be more understand. We'll discuss you when you come to 7th term. But government has trying to provide the free of cost latrines to the villagers. Yes, the government is providing the money and they are coming and trying to construct also. That is a service they are providing. Okay, that is service approach for healthcare. Education, it is the three component: motivation, communication and decision making. It results are very slow but permanent and enduring. Sufficient time for an individual to bring about the changes and learning new facts as well as learning the wrong information as well. Yes, so 2 months back we were in the educational approach in the prevention of COVID. Then we understood how our cases started becoming more positive and more suspects increased. Then government went for the service approach of providing the going and counseling them, making them staying at home. Then we had applied the what is the legal approach, the backward. So that is more stronger, better, and this is less stronger. Primary health care approach. Radically, the new approach starting from the people with their full participation and active involvement in planning of the delivering of the health services based on the principles of art health care via community involvement and intersectoral coordination. Individual help to become self-reliant in the matters of health. It can be done if the people receive the necessary guidance from healthcare providers in identifying their work problems and finding the workable solution. This approach is fundamental shift from earlier approach. Here we have to remember the ASHA workers, how they are doing the surveillance. Yes, so that is the primary care under the leadership of medical officers, under the leadership of community medicine. Yes, so they are doing house to house surveillance of contact tracing, secondary contact tracing. So that is helping in identifying the people and planning and identifying the propagated epidemic in case of COVID. Yes, so that is the primary healthcare approach. So these are the 4 basic approaches of providing health education. So in the next class we'll try to understand about what should be the content in health education. Yes, the felt needs, but what are those felt needs of an individual? So what are the contents and what are the different modes of health education, how we should go and approach? Is it the television? Is it the Flipkart? Is it the radio? Is it the print media? Is it the magazine? or is it the camps, jatas, street plays, bruhat kathas? So we'll try to understand all these different modes of mass communication, individual and group approach, which is already being practiced in the present situation. I think you are now learning community medicine each day. So whatever is happening in the pandemic, your whole park is applied. So your park textbook, it is practiced now currently. Yes, so that is about the health education aspects of present today's class. Okay, here is one beautiful map showing, you can just go through in detail about this health, which is an apple keeps a doctor away. You can see how health, diet, sleep, stress, exercise, it's all very much important. Yes, to get rid of COVID and to have a healthy life. Yes, follow these all tips, stay back healthy. Okay, stay back at home and be healthy, and I will meet you soon in my next class with continuation of the same topic. Okay, thank you all, take care, stay back home.